Shalom Akim. First and foremost, before we start, we want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakwadash. All praise to the Most High, the name of the begotten Son, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to our teachers, the elder apostles of the great Mill Well, peace and salutations to all the fellow laborers of the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. And we just flowing in the spirit, and of course, dealing with our prophecy. You see that we're in a time of war. The Lord stirring up the spirit of war in the earth. You see these nations, making their, chess moves, for the next position in power. As we see, the power of the West is slowly but surely dwindling. You got, the Most High, using the Russians, which we know is Magog. He's putting hooks into their jaws and reviving that spirit, that energy of the Soviet Union back, through this guy Putin. So what we're seeing right now is just another part of the algorithm of war. The Most High, he's in control of these things that's taking place, that's happening. It tells you in Isaiah 13th chapter that he mustered the host of the battle. All right, and plus, hey, the Most High, he's a drama king, man. He moves, the drama on the theater stage of war. This is a theater of war on the world stage, man. All right. So these things must happen. These things must take place. And everybody trying to give their opinion, voice their opinion about what's happening with the prophecies concerning what's going on right now. That people, you got Christians, motherfuckers trying to give their breakdown interpretation of what's happening. They're trying to go into Revelation and Ezekiel 38. They don't know what the hell is going on, man.
Genesis.
Yeah, going into Genesis and all that. Oh, man.
He don't have one leg to stand on.
Yeah, that guy.
Like
That guy.
Oh, man.
No,
But there's more bug outs out there. That's the closer we get, people are going to be looking for authentic answers.
Yeah.
And they're going to see that these false pastors out here, these Christians, the Catholic Church, Islam, they don't have the answers. The only ones that have the answers is the men of the Lord, the true men of the Lord. Starting with the apostles and elders.
And it's a beautiful dynamic to it as well, because like you said, in the midst of prophecy, speaking, the Lord always has that balance of his true prophets, bringing the word out, versus the dumb dogs, man. Because the majority is heaping into the dumb dogs, but you have a sect of men that are in the spirit, breaking the answers down freely, right in front of your faces, whom you are despising. While you're looking at these pastors like they're the true men of the Lord, they're lying to your face, man. That's why the scripture tells us, if the blind shall lead the blind, and both shall surely fall into a ditch, man. Because the word of the Lord is coming out.
Yeah.
I got something.
Go ahead.
Because you were talking about we mustered the host of the battle. This is Joel 3, verse 2. So, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is Yahweh Shabbat, which Yahweh the Heavenly Father's name, and Shabbat means judgment or judge, where he's about to judge all flesh. Starting with the what's that called? The center.
Levant.
No. It's like point zero. But it's called something else, like the epicenter. The epicenter being in the Middle East up there.
Yeah.
Okay. Just south of Russia.
It's spiritual too, because that's, in essence, that's where the Garden of Eden is.
Yep.
That's where everything started, and that's where everything is going to end.
That's right.
And, essentially,
Beautiful, right?
Yeah. And that the actual place where they're gonna ultimately have the troops, where the Lord's gonna basically have them gathered is in the desert of Saudi Arabia. It's surrounded by all those bodies of water and mighty rivers. So that's where the Lord's gonna lure them to. So the Lord's he's making calculated steps, and these nations thinking that they're gonna be the ones that's gonna transcend prophecy and make their own moves. Independent of the Most High. They're gonna position themselves in the earth. But the Lord is just he's controlling the whole algorithm. He's controlling all sides. You know.
It's lucky. I just told somebody. I said it wasn't in there. I think it was somebody I work with. I said Vladimir Putin got the spirit of the Lord on him.
Yeah.
Forcing him to do the things that he's doing over there. He needs to play that role on that other side. And everybody got their roles in this movie that's going to end the way the Heavenly Father wrote it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I got more on this. You got some right now?
Yeah, real quick. This is Proverbs 21:1,
Mhm.
and it says the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. And we see what he's doing right now, putting it into the minds of these leaders, you know, over these nations. You know, you got Iran in the mix, you got Israel in the mix, you got China in the mix, you got Syria in the mix, North Korea, you know,
back into it, yeah.
yeah. And the Lord is putting the spirit of war upon them. And that's why they thought the last decade, I say, there's been a lot of weapon trading, a lot of drills being conducted.
What is it called?
War games?
War games.
No, they've been gathering a lot of weapons too. You know,
Stockpile
weapons, yeah, and missiles and
All type of missile defense systems.
And gold, and they're paying for it in gold and silver, actual currency.
Yeah.
Not the paper fiat versions of it.
Yep.
That was all you needed right there?
Yeah, that was the point. Because basically he was talking about how the Lord is basically in control. So he's putting it into the minds of these the leaders of these nations, especially Putin. Putin, he's determined, man.
Yeah.
He wants all the smoke. And the move that they made now, the countermeasure to that is, you know, the West is now attacking them financially. You know, they just basically banned their banks from the SWIFT system all around the world. So that's it's gonna hurt them, but it ain't gonna stop them.
No, it's gonna make them go harder.
But listen, I saw something on what's the irony of America stopping their money is they're still buying Russian oil.
Yeah.
They need the gas.
Yeah. They still buying Russian oil. So it's like, okay, you want to stop their flow, but they still dealing with them. So they put that notion out there to the media to think like, oh yeah, we stopping the cash flow, but y'all really not.
Right.
And Russia thought Putin and his commanders, they knew. They knew. So they had moves prepared for the moves that NATO's gonna make on them.
Right.
And he's playing chess, they playing checkers. They have no money, he's playing the chessboard of the earth.
And that's why a lot of like Germany and a few other NATO nations, EU nations were timid to put sanctions because they know that Russia provides natural gas, oil for a lot of those EU countries, and if they go elsewhere, for Saudi Arabia, Iran, the cost is going to hurt them. So eventually,
America the one got sanctions on them, mother.
They hurt themselves.
Shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
Now we got to pay for the rising prices.
Yeah, exactly.
California, they damn near $6 a gallon.
Yeah. Easy. Yeah.
And that's why you see the ratings on Biden. You know, that shit is sad, man. And he's trying to like, you know, don't blame me for the shit. But nah, nigga, you doing this shit, man. You don't know what the hell you doing, man. And a lot of you niggas ought to be ashamed that you party about this guy.
Yeah. Look at the shit you got now.
Before this, he was bad.
Yeah.
He was bad before this. He's worse. It's just exposing him even further more now.
Yeah, all niggas see is Democrat.
Yeah. Don't know what it means. Just my grandma was a Democrat.
Yeah.
You know, that's what they go with. Let me read this so we can finish this up real quick. Then we can move on. And I will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land.
Yeah, that's why the Lord is creating a World War III scenario, man.
Yep.
All for Israel, man.
Yep. So we can come out of this captivity. You know, it's no different. Now explain this at that thing last night. This is no different than what happened when we came out of ancient Egypt. all the different signs and plagues and situations, heavy situations going on around us, is all to deliver us out of the hand of the modern day Egyptians that's ruling over us.
You know, a lot of these analysis on CNN or whatever, they kind of know that Americans in deep shit because they made a reference. It was like they're talking about cyber attacks. We could do this, we could do that. And one Edomite said, we can't do anything to them that they can't do to us.
Yeah,
That's defeating. That's like
deflating.
Yeah, it's like that's you know, and a lot of them know that. They like they could do cyber attack. They got that's the weak saying I am strong.
Yep.
They've been sliding by in them submarines over
Yeah,
there anyway, wherever they want. Them things, you see them two Blackhawks
Oh,
they
and
put in Venezuela right now.
yeah.
Was it not Blackhawks?
You like some of those bombers.
The bombers,
Like supersonic.
They can go faster, twice the sound of the speed of sound.
Yeah.
It sounds like
With nuclear bombs.
Yeah.
They-
So
they
you can
really
get
use
nuclear
fuck
capabilities.
out of there, bro.
Yeah.
They said they needed parachutes to help them slow
Yeah,
down.
so yeah.
That's when they slowed down to land.
Right.
It was still going that fast. So yeah, man.
You think
Them things is big.
how long a military land strip is?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And them planes is big too, because they holding them nukes. I don't think it's just one nuke on there. They probably got a few of them on there ready to just.
Oh yeah, just one missile has like numerous warheads.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know, so
Mhm.
yeah, they in position to strike.
And that's what it mean by the Lord when you read Ezekiel 38 chapter. Talks about how he's coming with all shields, bucklers, swords, basically preparing him for war. You know,
Armor, missile defense
all types of
systems,
armor, missile defenses,
tanks.
getting them equipped because they're going to play a vital role in taking down the beast.
Hey, cause look, Salaki, bro, but Venezuela putting them two in Venezuela, that's the striking range.
Yeah.
The chess moves he just made was big.
Y'all tried to get close to us with Ukraine.
Yep.
Well, shit, man,
I'm right here.
we right here.
Yeah, we
right
brought our
down here.
fastest jets.
They don't even need to go.
We
You know,
need
they
the airspace.
don't need to go out of space and come back down. They can just go direct.
Venezuela got the oil too.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're strengthening them because they know that's where the power is gonna be at. Who controls that oil?
I think Babylon they decreased. They made Venezuela go into hyperinflation because Russia was basically commandeering that land. Man. But I got something. Anybody?
That was done.
You're in Joel 3.
Yeah.
Jump down to 9.
Okay, kind of. Yeah. I was gonna wait on it, but yeah, I done that.
Oh, you gonna wait?
I mean, till we got more into it because it was kind of.
Okay.
It's up to y'all.
I mean,
I don't know what the brother got.
yeah, you can get your precept.
Yeah. I mean, this goes with Ezekiel 38. Jeremiah 51 and 29. I'm gonna read down. Set up a standard in the land, blow the trumpet among the nations, prepare the nations against her. It was at Babylon, America.
Yeah, and then blowing the trumpet is us talking about these moves and how they're prophetic about how the children of Israel is going to be taken out of this situation. That this is a milestone event for us, showing that the Lord said He was going to muster the host of the battle. He's going to bring them all this, and World War III is on the way now. Moreover, what was that part you read, bro? It's like, could you go right back to what you just read?
Set up a standard in the land, blow the trumpet among the nations, prepare the nations against her.
Yeah, blow the trumpet among the nations. And so, how? By showing a sign, like we're going to war. Russia's ready. They got armor on. They ready. They dressed for war right now. They're not playing with nothing else. They ain't thinking about agriculture. They all about that smoke right now.
Hey, they're in the right season, as it says in Ecclesiastes 3.
Yeah.
They're in the right time.
Time of war.
They're time of war, time of hate.
He's like, fuck it, I'm gonna set. He ain't even setting it off. All he's doing is make sure his shit is good.
Yeah, it's just about positioning it.
Position himself right.
Yeah, these are just, this isn't particularly World War III,
Right.
but this is just building up to that.
Yep.
These are all just, proxies, conflict, you know, but this isn't the final thing yet. You got to build up to it.
Yeah.
It's a series, like basically, as soon as we came out of the Second World War, and we know that they formulated NATO to combat the Soviet Union, and then they came with the Warsaw Pact, and that's when, you know, they was having that Cold War. So the Cold War, you know, kept the spirit of war in the atmosphere of the world, and really it hasn't really stopped.
Nah, since World War II, it's been on the line.
It
never quelled down.
So we're still within the confines of that, but it's going to escalate to where when all these other nations have to pick sides, they're going to be dragged into it, and that's what's going to formulate the final war.
And you're going to see a lot of hostility built up against America over this time that we're coming into, because the president of Ukraine, he's kind of fed up with America because they won't come in their defense.
Right. He felt basically like, man, you just abandoned me.
Yeah.
After you just propped me up, you know what I'm saying? Like they fell for the hype.
Yeah.
Y'all gave us weapons and
they gave them what,
shields.
$350 million, I guess today, for military usage. They've been giving them over $1 billion in the past year, I think. But what is that going to do for them now?
Right.
They're too late. They're under attack.
Yeah, they needed it.
Yeah.
You know, when Obama was on there, you know, Putin been about that smoke since way back then.
And these other NATO and EU countries.
Go ahead.
Calls together against her the kingdoms of Arat, Mini, and Ashkenaz. And you look up those, you know, those countries, you can see they're in like by Turkey, you know, Armenia by Turkey, which is Meshach and Tubal, and Ezekiel 38. Mini is over there. Ararat, that's Armenia. Ashkenaz, you know, those all in that little section of you know, east of Russia, you know, east and, you know, south of Russia.
West and south of Russia. And it's also prophesied in the 50th chapter that he's going to assemble them together.
I had that version.
Assembly of nations from the north country. So that's why the Lord's putting His spirit on Putin to try to you know, gather them or unite them, but he has to actually do it through war,
Right.
Because those countries that was once a part, that was aligned with them going back prior to the Soviet, the Cold War. They was all together. They was one big family.
Was it Western Germany was a part of, you know, the Soviet Union? You know? Appoint a captain against her, cause the horses to come up as the rough caterpillars. Prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes. That's talking about the Russians. The captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. And the land shall tremble in sorrow, for every purpose of the Lord shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without inhabitants. And that's the ultimate, you know, destruction, man. To make America desolate, man, by thermonuclear destruction.
That's what all this is being built up for.
Man, he's been waving the nuclear sword around for some time now. He always making allusions to, hey, we got the best nuclear capabilities.
What did he just say? He said, you've never felt, what did he say? You've never the likes of I forgot how he said it, like destruction or something. He said, baby, you never dealt with such an event like this
In your history.
In America, of all villages, they never dealt with nothing this drastic over here. You know, as what he's about to come to this place.
He's so determined that he's willing to risk mutual assured destruction.
His own.
That's the spirit that's on him. Like, hey, if a lot of motherfuckers gotta go, then it is what it is.
He understands it's gonna be casualties. And he's willing to you know, make that risk.
And what we almost forgot what he did a few years ago. He went and put his people in the bunkers. Just as a test.
Yeah.
Nobody go hang out in the public and figure it out.
He gave the pamphlets.
Yeah, how to when nuclear fallout.
Preparing for nuclear war.
This was all part of. That's been the idea.
Yeah.
The Heavenly Father been working on his mind for this to come to pass, and it's going to continue escalating. This isn't the end of it. This is the beginning of it. Before the end of it is when this place is up in flames, man, up in smoke.
And it tells you that in back in Ezekiel 38 that he's gonna think that evil thought.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the Lord gonna put it into him.
Yep. That fuck humanity shit, man.
Yeah, where he gonna press that button eventually.
And it's the same spirit he gonna put on America's allies too,
Yeah.
European allies.
God, that's
They're
what-
gonna have to. They're gonna think that same evil thought.
Yeah, that's what the scripture says. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrow.
And we know most of the NATO countries are the ones that been that boat. You know, we got the Chinas and the Russians, southern other places, but hey, the NATO's the ones that really hold it.
And I had a word because we mentioned it earlier before the live stream. The word is catalyst. And it's the online Adam dictionary. It says a substance which speeds a chemical reaction, but itself remains unchanged. But when you go deeper into it, it says something that causes an important event to happen. You know, and that's exactly what this is. It's a catalyst to a ultimately thermonuclear destruction.
Yeah.
Because although we know, the MOTB, it has to be made mandatory. We have to go through the hour of temptation.
Yep. The house shot got to be sitting in the sky.
Gone.
Yep.
Dead. It's like,
And that's the thing. I'm glad you mentioned that because what type of system is this devil developing? He's developing the Charagma infrastructure.
Yep.
So the fact that that's happening over there, and we know that this is going to escalate and accelerate the destruction of the world monetary system. It's going to lead straight to what?
Inflation.
Hyperinflation and collapse, and then they're going to be like, all right, well, we already had a system in place.
Yep.
Might as well just cross on over.
Mm-hmm.
You're already used to these
credit system.
you're already used to these systems.
Yep.
You're used to digital banking.
You've been tapping your Apple Pay and your Google, not Google, what's the
Samsung
Amazon,
Pay.
Samsung, Amazon stores and whatnot. You used to that already.
Scan and go.
You got digital IDs
I
now.
was just gonna say you're not against the whole digital implant deal either, though.
In the elite bankers' eyes, they see the regular common folk. Now they see them as terrorists.
yeah.
Right.
So they have to put that implant in you to basically monitor your every movement. Right?
Right.
So that's the ultimate way that trying to make you trying to control you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the ultimate why they bringing this shit out, man.
Right. See, the Most High prophesied that you was gonna do this.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think that you just came up with this and it's just gonna fall in line the way the Most High, he already put it in you to do what you're doing, but you're not gonna make it the way you think you're gonna make it.
Yeah, I was watching that movie, The Kingsman. You
Mhm.
see that? Samuel L. Jackson, he was implanting, all the world leaders and shit,
Yeah.
basically trying to control them. If they go off, that implant blow their head up.
That was also shown in it's a movie where they all at work.
Linko experiment.
Belko.
Velcro.
Yeah, they didn't follow the rules set.
They blew up.
Yeah.
They were exterminated.
What do you think that Charagma got in?
Gone.
You're right. That's
Yep.
It says a synonym is an accelerator. Hey, and this is the year of what? The year of turn up. So what? Things are being accelerated.
Yep.
And the sentence they have here is the invasion acted as a catalyst.
Ooh, go to Second Ezra 4:37, because things are turning up because the Most High, he has a set time where he numbers the times by measure. All things have to be complete before he moves on to the next, portion of prophecy.
Right.
So that's why brothers, like the elder in Dallas in London, Elder Ariala and Rakaya Kwam, they go into the algorithms. It's a formula. It's basically a bunch of things happening at once, but it's accelerating into prophecy. Things happening.
Right.
Okay.
How about you, Shah? Ultimate program.
Get that for me real quick, and then you can go back to that definition.
I got it.
Second Ezra 4:37.
Can I hit that word algorithm right quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, algorithm says a process or set of rules to be followed in calculations or other problem-solving operations, especially by a computer. A basic algorithm for division. Late 17th century, denoting the Arabic variant algorithm. It's
The Mosai, he
basically it's calculating.
Yeah, and that's how the Mosai moves. He moves very calculated.
It's formulas and calculations set in order in order to write code.
Yeah.
You know.
So that's how the Lord deals with his prophecies. All right, did I get that for me?
Second Ezra chapter 4:37, it says, by measure had he measured the times, and by number had he numbered the times. And he doth not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled.
Until the said measure be fulfilled.
Yeah.
So he's not going to stir or basically arouse it until certain things take place and happen before he can move on to other things that he prophesied of. That's why Apostle Gabar, he did his lesson, not to get too excited, that this is taking place. Now, no, we're to be excited because prophecy is happening, but don't get too excited to where you think that this is it. Like this is pretty much the end.
Quit your job.
Right.
They thought that when they had that situation with the guy that Iran that got killed.
Solomon.
Yeah. That was like 2 years ago almost.
Yeah.
They jumped to conclusions thinking World War III is like it's a part of it, but like this is a part of it.
Just another part of the wars and rumors of wars. It's all part of the catalyst, man. You see.
The other thing that reminded me of what the brother just read was telling the four angels to hold back the four winds until my
servants be
sealed in their
filled.
foreheads.
Yeah, exactly.
These things gotta happen, man.
These things should, you Jakes out there should, these events like this, these prophecies should, you should be making a decision. This should solidify this truth in your mind. Like, shit is about to happen. Like Apostle Bahar said, we could be out of here by the end of this year or end of next year.
It's possible.
Yeah, it's possible.
And that's why you have to stay focused. You got to keep your eyes single. This occupation of being a watchman, you never sleep. You got to constantly be on your watch.
It's based on fear.
Yeah.
That the Lord gonna come through like a thief in the night. And I was gonna say this for you new Jakes that should be that ain't sure if this is what you want to deal with. Well, this place is gonna be destroyed.
Yeah, regardless.
And you're in it.
Okay.
You got nowhere that you can go. There's no. And when I'm gonna go back to Africa. Go to Africa. That's gonna get. Those people gonna get hit too. Not destroyed like America. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna escape the judgment over there.
You're not gonna escape your judgment.
Right.
So exactly. if you are appointed to be judged, you can't escape it.
Exactly. Point being, this place is gonna get wiped out. So what else you got? There's no other way to have a chance at getting out of this, of escaping the perils, as it says, that's gonna happen to the place, that are plagues, not our sins and our plagues not come upon you. But through this is the only way to get out.
That's why it says, what manner of person ought you to be? Seeing that day is coming, and come like a thief.
Be melted. All these elements shall melt with fervent heat.
Yeah.
You part of the element table, buddy. What you gonna do to escape this? Y'all got it.
Yeah.
Is that all you wanted?
Yeah, that was it. Now you want to go back?
It says catalyst, something that causes an important event to happen. It says the invasion acted as a catalyst to unite the country. Hey, that's a sentence to use. Hey, but in this case, the invasion is acting as a catalyst to dissemble, the country, man.
Yep. But really, it's not. It's bringing them together.
Yeah, it's bringing together them.
Them over there. As it was supposed to be, going into that Warsaw Pact you was talking about. The countries he wants to bring back together was in that war. Those who surrounded him. He's trying to build wall of nations. That's why it was so important to get Crimea. When I was looking into Crimea still held, when they broke up in 91, Crimea still held, I think it was like 96, something like that. Crimea still held a lot of the Russian weapons. That's a major piece on the chessboard, so to speak, right there over the Black Sea. And then right above that is Ukraine. Now Ukraine want to turn, he's like, no, I'm bringing all my stuff back. I want all this back.
They already allied with I think Belarus.
Yeah.
So
that's why they was able to put their military and their troops all in those areas.
Exactly.
Aiming straight towards Ukraine, man.
Exactly.
And it was mainly they were mainly like, man, we don't really want to fight with y'all. Our concern is NATO. Them putting them troops around them borders.
Yep.
We not gonna fuck around like that.
Mm-hmm.
We in knowing the history of the beast, we know how y'all get down. You totally dismantled countries when you was able to get in or arms reach, and destabilize and put make these little false agreements. We saw, the whole world saw what you was able to do.
Set up puppet leaders in those certain countries.
What they do with Iraq.
Yeah.
That whole situation with Saddam Hussein. Snaked him and went in there and took his ass out and occupied their shit.
What's the one down in Africa, Northern Africa?
Libya.
Libya.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, what was it? What was his name? That was
Gaddafi.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Gaddafi did the same way.
The whole world saw these things, man.
Yeah.
Yugoslavia in 1999. Everybody saw that. That was devastating. So basically, they like, nah, man, you're not gonna move that close to us, knowing this shit that you've done, knowing that we're enemies.
It's what you do.
You know.
So the known gangster
So it ain't.
in the hood.
Yeah. So it ain't personal. It's business.
If the known gangster in the hood comes to your party and you like, why you up in here, and you want to stand on close to you, you're gonna be on guard.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to address him like, man, going across the room or go, you gotta leave. And that's all that Putin is doing over there. If y'all too close, y'all gonna do some snake shit over here. Get the fuck out of here.
Plus, they saw how NATO was able to take those countries from them during the Cold War.
Yep.
They was all opting out of the Warsaw Pact and being joining onto NATO.
Edomites going against Edomites.
Hey, Edomite on Edomite war. I support that.
Edomite on Edomite crowd.
There's no different than the Ptolemies versus the Seleucids.
Yep.
They was always, Esau was always at war with himself.
Yep.
That's just how covetous he is. He's very greedy.
Someone that will not be good unto himself,
To whom
will be good.
He that's evil to
He does
himself.
evil to himself.
To whom will
To his own
he
people.
good?
And a lot of those Russians, a lot of those Ukrainians, they're the same people.
Yeah.
They one of the probably one of the dukes of Esau.
Yeah.
So they're the same people with the messed up, but they're over there like really effing them up. Like Apostle Dahar was going into how they chopping some of their heads off and blowing their brains out, and see how cool Esau is to their own people. But like the brother said, it's the spirit of wars in the air, right?
This is for the greater good of Mother Russia. I'm saying it like they will say. Yeah, that's what he's doing it for.
But like you said, Russia planning this. They got, they didn't have sleeper cells in Ukraine all this time. Ready to, come on.
It was all calculated. It was a strategy. We're gonna get the airports. We're gonna get
cut off their communication.
Cut
off their internet.
You want me to go back and somebody got something? Or do you want me to go back and let Joel?
I have something.
38.
Yeah.
Let me read this real quick because I just want to read this because it how America is so-called putting all these sanctions. This is Isaiah 13 and 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Meaning, you could sanction them as much as they want. You could try to make deals. They don't care about the money. You see, Russia knowingly, they knew what America's next move was going to be as far as the sanctions, but they did it anyway. They don't care about it. How you gonna sanction Putin's personal account? You think he cares?
Yeah.
He got mountains of gold probably over there. He has real money. So they're not, or Russia, China, these countries are not going to regard your money, your trade agreements anymore.
Guess what? The U.S. dollar gonna end up.
Yeah,
right. It's gonna be hyperinflation here in America.
It's gonna hurt more over here. It's gonna hurt them.
So what good is your money?
Yeah.
And
But they gotta do something. The world's watching.
there was what's that the news site? I think they based in India or something, but WION.
Oh yeah.
But they was talking about how right before the invasion, they was comparing Russia's GDP versus I want to say the West. I think maybe America, but we know on the GDP scale, they got Russia blown out of the waters with that. They clearly got way more money, but what the fuck does that matter if they talking about we gonna nuke some shit?
Yeah.
That all that shit doesn't even matter. It goes out the window.
So now regard silver or gold, man. Nobody care about money.
That shit goes out the window. It doesn't matter.
You can't buy your way out of this.
Huh?
America can't. That's what they've always been able to do. We'll make another deal and we'll buy this many of this and we'll make another trade deal and oil. They don't care no more.
Because even within the oil deal with America basically trying to shut down the energy resource of oil from Russia, and that impacts everybody, man. That impacts the U.S. heavily. Because oil right now is what, $15 a gallon, or if it's like $15 a barrel.
It's 100.
It's like 96 right now, but they're saying it's gonna catapult to 100.
Yeah.
So it's increasing heavily, man. Because like you said, everyone does business with Russia in terms of oil, and that Nord Stream 2 pipeline was basically gonna allow Russia to monopolize the oil market because it does what? It directly gives it unto the European countries, man.
Yeah.
Which then cuts off resources from America giving oil to anyone, or Venezuela giving oil to anyone. So that's a huge part of the market,
But that's who should be doing it for that reason anyway.
God. It's really, if you're looking at the global interest of the world, it would be in the best interest to do.
Exactly.
But
everybody
understand
get for the right price.
Exactly.
You gotta pay both shipping, oil price, all that stuff run up the price.
It's the most cost effective too, versus getting it from the Middle East.
Because it would be more transportation costs on what do you call it? Those big shipments, ship containers. It would be actually less
oil tankers.
Less oil tankers, which would be good for the environment, so to speak. But we understand the plans of Esau ultimately to having owned everything and you're be in control of everything, man.
Right. You will own nothing and you will be happy. And that's going back to his covetousness, man. That's Habakkuk the second chapter. This devil was entitled to fucking the whole planet.
It's like
all the natural resources of the whole planet. He's entitled to that shit. If you sitting on what he want, he's for it. Hey, come with it. And we could be cool, but I need that.
Yeah, right.
Because going back to his blessing, he was given the fatness of the earth, so he automatically feels entitled to it. It tells you that in Micah 2 that they covet fields, they take them by violence. All this bloodshed, all these wars is about building wealth and taking hold and monopolizing on the earth's resources. That's what it's about, man.
And they all Edomites, and it's like you said, it was Seleucus and Ptolemies during that time after Alexander the Greek died, when he dispersed his kingdom to the four generals. They couldn't rule all together because everyone was at everyone's neck trying to jockey for who gonna rule. And the same thing today. These Edomites have all the resources, have all the money, but still that covetous spirit, they can't rule together. They gotta be at each other's neck. So eventually they're gonna destroy each other.
They all want to be that one superpower.
And Russia think they got next, but China, just like China think they got next. But hey, Yahweh Shemar Shah got another thing coming.
That's it. Go ahead. Who was
I was just speaking on the global.
Get Habakkuk 2:5. You can get that real quick. Because he don't care how much blood has to be spilled.
Okay.
I got it.
He's just, all he's concerned with is his agenda being accomplished.
Right.
You know?
It's a Habakkuk 2:5. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, and neither keepeth at home.
Neither keepeth at home.
Yeah.
That's why it's conflict all over the world. Because he's everywhere coveting fields and trying to take them by violence.
Yeah, I was holding. I wasn't grabbing.
You see?
Awesome.
He's been everywhere. And it's like, it's funny because the Western propaganda machine got the whole world, trying to empathize with Ukraine, as if NATO doesn't have this history, America doesn't have this history of doing the exact same shit to all these other countries. There's literally a list, a compiled list of all the major countries that America bombed, or invaded, or took their resources to stabilize their government. It's a list of them.
I saw an article today where they were speaking about the war America has in Somalia that no one's talking about. That they've been bombing them ever since Trump, or before Trump, I think.
Yeah. I was gonna say this.
I found. I'm gonna send it to the group chat right now.
Let me say this right quick while you're doing that.
U.S. intervention since World War II.
Yeah, I just got it up. It's the spirit because the same thing America's been doing in places all over the world. Russia is like, this is us though.
Yeah.
This been us.
Mm-hmm.
Why are y'all trying to?
We're just taking back what y'all took from us.
Yeah. Exactly. This was. If how can I steal? How can I steal my own shit?
Like on some OJ shit.
Yeah. How can I steal my own shit?
Nigga did 9 years because he went to the hotel room and robbed some motherfuckers that stole some shit from him.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. He went to jail. The other people didn't.
Yeah. Come on, man.
You know, be like, and it's funny because Jake is picking up on it. That's what made me laugh. Jake can break it down in plain speech. But we seeing, the world is seeing the real truth about America. A lot of people are still asleep, and they don't get it. They don't see the big picture. They so like the apostle said, they so patriotic for this one over here.
Yes.
They side with this because they want to be patriotic here. You don't even realize what's going on. But how you gonna be patriotic to your oppressors when the key to the other country is what's gonna get you out of this captivity?
Homeborn slaves.
Stockholm.
Who had that?
It says, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is his death.
Yeah, it says hell cannot be
Satisfied.
Yep, it says an insatiable appetite.
That's why he went around the world, causing all type of disturbances and wars. There's never been a period in time in history when his devil was in power that there was ever a time of peace. It was nothing but just straight war the whole time.
Bro,
and that's what Revelation 6 and 4. The red. That's how you know he's the red horse.
And what's funny, which is hypocritical as well, is you have like these Americans. They're like, oh, look at what's happening in Ukraine. It's so sad that this war is happening. But then America's been bombing the shit out of places in the Middle East since forever.
Yeah.
And the sentiment for that is not there at all.
Bro,
they pick and choose. Exactly.
Bro, under the Obama administration, over 20-something thousand bombs were dropped. Were used. Just under the Obama administration alone.
Yeah, they never talked about it either. I think wasn't that the most in history or something?
I believe so.
Up to that time.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Bro, over 1 million dead Iraqis.
Right.
Civilians.
Yeah.
Kids.
It did way worse. With Russia doing with Ukraine, America did way worse. Way worse.
And still,
still doing it.
Hospitals, schools.
Yeah.
It says, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is his death.
Oh, hold on. We can't forget what they did to Yemen. They supported Saudi Arabia in their annihilation of Yemen. They supplied them with the weapons and all that to decimate Yemen. Got them children starving and bombing schools.
You'll talk about what Israel doing to
the Palestinians.
They bombing like hospitals with man.
they're attacking the civilians. You see how it's
And
just
what is-
hypocritical,
bro.
And what did,
but that's Esau got him, like
Yeah.
he using that fucking mind program is witchcraft.
and what did it was Cat Williams? What did Cat Williams say? They bombing insurgents? No, they bombing them.
Yeah,
They ain't no random insurgents. Them the people.
Yeah.
yeah.
You bombing the people over there, man.
Mm-hmm.
You people don't see it. You got
And who enlargeth his desire is hell, and is his death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Shall not all these take up a parable against him?
heaping them up under him.
People. That basically that one world where he's gonna basically sit at the top of
Yep, the pyramid.
the pyramid, the hegemon, and he wants control over all their resources, and he also wants to trace and monitor, control, everybody's every move. He wants to control trade. He wants to control your food,
Control your thoughts.
your thoughts.
And what is that?
They call it the thought police.
Yep.
On some 1984 shit.
Minority Report.
Huh.
Hey, what is that called? What have you described?
Mm.
What have you described? The blessing that Jacob was given.
Mm.
That's what he's trying to fulfill.
Right.
That birthright.
He's still trying to get
fulfill
it.
that birthright.
Mm-hmm.
That's everything that he said. I gave him everything, so he's trying to go get his everything.
And he's trying to get it back in that angry tantrum.
Yep.
That's why that tells you that in Isaiah 14, how he ruled the nations in anger.
Yep.
Turn whole cities into the wilderness.
Yeah, and come and make deals with the government to build construction deals with the government to build them back up.
Yeah.
Man,
You got it.
you blow the shit up and then pay us millions of dollars to come.
Drop rice. Bags of rice.
Or use.
Yeah.
Yep.
Use harp.
Harp, yeah.
Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and the taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his? How long?
That's the sentiment of the world. Like, dude, you always shit. Like, you always where you don't need to be.
Yeah.
China, like, yo, you're not gonna. Matter of fact, now that Russia's doing that, over here, we finna secure Taiwan. We finna handle. We finna deal with this situation.
Mhm.
And then they just, I think Tsai, he just formulated some situation with North Korea.
Yep.
So they
going back to
they in the works.
They
Yeah.
got themselves back up. And that's the back of Russia, by the way.
Yep.
That America could be closer to is China on that side.
And it's all to strengthen themselves against the aggression of the West. That's what this is all about, man.
And America's the military's so thin right now, they can't be everywhere.
Yep.
They're trying to be in the South China Sea. They're trying to send troops
Trying to
over
spoil
to Germany,
everything.
and they're trying to be everywhere. You can't.
Trying to spoil everything.
This is what brought down ancient Rome.
Yeah.
Too thin.
Mm-hmm.
All the symptoms of the first beast before it
Mm-hmm.
is what's gonna take this one out. You got it, bro.
How long into him that ladeth himself with thick clay? Shall they not
Himself into that debt.
Yep.
Dude is, I mean, they're on the national debt clock. They're over 30 trillion, but we know it's hundreds of trillions.
Yeah.
That they're in debt.
And that debt note is $1 bill, man.
Kind of. And guess what? You're the debt bearers. You average Americans.
Yep.
So all your tax-paying money is not going. It ain't going to you.
Oh yeah, the IRS is back there like 2 years or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
So you might not get your refund. Man.
I know people that ain't even got their last year.
Right.
So just kept that shit.
Okay. It says, and to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them? Because thou hast spoiled many nations.
Spoiled many nations. You took them. Spoils of war. You've attempted.
Yeah, kind.
There was a lot of attempts. Where you sabotage and you attempted regime change in certain places. You set up coups. You use the CIA to train mercenary groups to try to take them down. In certain instances, you took it. In certain instances, you failed. Like with Maduro in Venezuela,
Yeah.
you attempted that, but that it didn't work. It didn't work out.
What was that one recent situation in Kazakhstan?
Oh yeah.
Esau tried to set up something over there, and
When Russia came over there, quote that shit real quick.
Like, no.
That's they shit over there too.
Oh, that's they shit.
Yeah.
It says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of the men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil.
Yeah, he want to set himself on high so much. He want to be like the Most High.
Yeah.
He don't just want to be the top ruling class man on the earth. He want to be in the level of the Most High.
Yeah.
The level that we're supposed to get connected to the Most High. But he want to do it not connected to the Most High.
Yeah, he's trying to heap unto himself all this wealth and all this power, and he's doing it at the expense of causing bloodshed. Constant bloodshed has to spill in order for him to achieve that. And with all that wealth that he does have, he's thinking that he's going to basically, take those spoils and just, stockpile it to himself and basically go hide and be out of Dodge for everything that he's causing on the world. He thinks he's going to be hit from. So that's why, they've been they've been trying to escape or plan an escape route for years now with all these underground bunkers and shelters.
Space City,
They call it domes.
That's that Tower of Babel to escape judgment. That's what they're trying to build.
This nigga want to build an elevator that goes into outer space.
An elevator.
Yeah. This is what they, So he really think he's that proud. That's why it says in Obadiah, you exalt yourself too fucking high, man.
Yeah.
The pride of your heart have deceived you.
They have like islands out in the South Pacific that they built or building over there to escape. They got like literally an escape plan, to fly a jet out there and think they'll be safe in the South Pacific, but ain't no guarantee that you gonna make it there. Ain't no guarantee you gonna make it to your jet, because when this destruction happens, it's gonna be a worldwide event. It's gonna be a global event.
Yeah, the
where
earth is gonna shake.
Yeah, wherever you are, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna know that the presence of the Lord is in this place. You're gonna feel the missiles wherever you are in the world. It's the world. The earth is gonna rock to and fro like a drunkard. And was Isaiah 24th chapter.
Jeremiah 50 and 23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations?
Because of the hammer of the earth. Because you're known for your aggression, man. You're known for starting these wars and conflicts. A lot of nations then have to suffer. Major damage, man. Damage to their livelihood. Their
not just
their
that.
governments.
Yeah. Think about like the damage you said, the damage that America has done to all these nations over the years. So don't think that they don't got built up aggression, even if you are allies with them now. Like for instance, Japan. How do you think those Japanese people feel about Hiroshima and Nagasaki?
Right.
The ones that whether their family members have passed, but they heard the stories about they can. It's actual evidence. They say it's a shadow implanted on the ground somewhere. So they still have that. So the Most High is going to put it in them and these other nations to remember that pain that America has caused over these years. So there's not going to, like it says, you quoted it. They're not going to spare any arrows. They're not going to have pity for America. When it's all said and done.
Notice how, like, when Ahmadinejad was he was the prime minister of Iran at the time. He used to, when they used to have those meetings, he used to always go into the history of America.
Yeah.
Talk about what you did to the black people in America. They bring up, the slavery and all the shit that he's done.
The Native American genocide.
Yeah.
All that.
Track record, and that's going into the
Rap
shame.
sheet.
Like
Habakkuk too.
yeah, the brother's still there. Read down to it because it talks about how his shame is going to be filled with. It's like his glory is going to be filled with shame.
Yeah.
Shameful spewing shall be upon his glory.
It's gonna be revealed. It's
As a matter of fact, before you read that, I'm gonna read this list real quick. It's like U.S. intervention since World War II, bomb attacks, sabotage, attempted regime change. China from 1945 to 1946. Syria, 1949.
Hey, and we also have to include when we're reading this list, time periods or the time lapses of the gaps. Hey, in between these gaps, they're still plotting, to invade and maybe multiple spots at once, So it's really no cease in between it. So that 3-year gap right there, that's not really a cease. Those are plots of other destructive methods, man.
Now you gotta remember who controls the hammer. The U.S. is the elite bankers, man.
Exactly.
Rothschilds, these elite banking families. They control America, NATO,
And
You
they control these wars too.
Yep.
My brother mentioned it on the comment board. The bankers is behind it all.
Yeah.
You see,
They're the ones that's to gain. You gotta look and see who's to gain from war. The people that own these companies. They're gonna gain from this. And who's gonna lose? The people that's paying taxes and paying for all of this, paying for the wars, pretty much.
Yep. It says Korea, 1950 to 1953. They put that hedge, they put that division between them two.
North
Yeah.
South Korea.
Yep. China again, 1950 to 1953. Iran in 1953. Guatemala in 1954. Tibet in 1955 to the 70s. Indonesia in 1958. Cuba in 1959. Democratic of Republic of Congo, 1960 to 65. The Dominican Republic, 1961.
Hey, and the U.S. still has embassies in all these spots.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Vietnam, 1961 to 73. Brazil, 1964. British Guyana, 1964. Republic of Congo, 1964. It just keeps going, man.
Yeah.
I don't even think it doesn't even skip a year. It says Guatemala, 1964. Laos, 1964 to 73. Dominican Republic again, 1965 to 1966. Indonesia, 1965. All right. And Great Britain put that enmity between them and Pakistan. Them is all the same people. That's all Elam up there.
Afghanistan and Pakistan.
Yeah. They caused that shit. Peru, 1965. Greece, 1967.
Yeah, list, man.
Bruh. Guatemala, 1967 to 69. Cambodia, 1969 to 70. Chile, from 1970 to 73. Argentina, 1976. Angola, 1976 to 1992. Turkey, 1980. Poland, 1980 to 81. El Salvador, 1981 to 92. So we were just occupying and just going everywhere, man.
Everywhere, right?
Everywhere. Now you see how on point the prophecy is. Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, calls this whole shit out.
Yeah, can I hit Michael 2 right quick?
Come on, and I'll read some more. Go ahead.
Okay, I hit the first one. Okay, Michael 2 and 2. I could read one, really.
Yeah, read the. You can start from the top.
Yep. Michael chapter 2, it says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand."
Yeah, they plot it out.
Mm-hmm.
They have it on their agenda list on what they want to do, and they have the means to accomplish it because they got the military, they got power,
funding,
they got the funding. A strong military, they got a strong monetary system.
Propaganda.
They got the propaganda machine.
Yeah.
So it plays in their favor.
When we used the word algorithm earlier, it said to calculate. This is their calculations on the left-hand side.
Yep.
Yep. Verse 2 it says, and they covet fields and take them by violence. We're watching them. How do we know that they take them by violence? Because they pull the resources out of them countries and they left an embassy over there to keep them in check.
Yeah. So they covered fields.
Yeah.
You know, why are you over there in Afghanistan? The poppy fields,
Yeah.
the opium, you know,
Oil fields,
oil fields.
Middle East.
That shit with Iraq, that was just an oil currency war.
Yeah.
But they did it, but you know, they tried to do it under the
Weapons of
false,
Weapons of mass destruction.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Weapons of mass destruction. Come on, man.
Yeah,
Really?
You know what the fuck you could do with an aluminum tube?
And then even with Iran, then they set up the INF, the treaty,
Yeah.
and then they backed out of it, and then they blame Iran because they backed out of it after the US did.
Yeah.
You know? So this shows you how Esau gets down, man.
Yeah.
You know?
That was
Now,
more.
that's a little more. It says, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage.
That word oppress. Somebody look up that word oppress.
It says in this word, you see it says defraud
To defraud.
in the sword.
You look further in the definition, it also means to exploit.
That's
You
what
just-
essentially what that list is about. Oppressing those nations in their heritage, in their countries.
We need a regime change in your country
Yeah.
because your leader is not allowing us to get access
Yeah. To your resources.
to those resources. So we need a regime. We need some regime change. So we're gonna propagate through all our media that he's a terrorist. He's a horrible leader.
Yeah.
He's tyrannical to his citizens.
Killing his people.
He doesn't have any care or interest for his people.
Okay, and then,
Operation Iraqi Freedom.
and you know what they
That's
do
so
before?
impressive.
They'll send scientists over there to research and act like they're coming in. What do you say? Though he humbled himself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what
crouch him down.
we're sending scientists over here to help you. And when those scientists come back and say, "Yo, it's oil right here, it's this," and then Esau plans all this shit out. Like the scriptures, they say they do a diligent search.
I got that word oppress.
Yep.
In the Oxford Languages definition, or whatever, it says keep someone in subservience and hardship, especially by the unjust exercise of authority. The sentence says a system that oppressed working people. Some of the synonyms: persecute, abuse, maltreat, ill-treat, treat harshly, tyrannize. That's from tyranny, right? To be brutal, crush, hegemonize, subdue, enslave, exploit. Click on that word exploit. It says make full use of and derive benefit from a
There it is.
resource.
There it is. There it is.
Yep.
You got that in the definition too.
I got it. Oh, but it's a shock to press upon, oppress, violate,
Yeah.
defraud, do violence, get deceitfully, wrong, extort.
To get deceitfully. Give me Sirach 10:8. Sirach 10:8.
And it's Sirach 10:8. And it reads,
Read that part again.
To press upon, oppress, violate, defraud, do violence, get deceitfully,
To get deceitfully
wrong, extort.
wrong. Go ahead.
the Sirach 10:8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit,
Got by deceit, by oppression.
God,
Go ahead.
the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
And that's why Esau and your ass is getting ready to be brought down. The joy of the hypocrite is short, man.
But for a moment.
It's just but for a moment, man. All right, you did all this, and it tells you that in Psalms how he weighed his violence in the earth, all this violence, all this murder, just so that you can keep to yourself all this power and all this wealth. You get it deceitfully, man. You get it by oppression.
Can I, Bible Shark, I read a couple of these words in
Go ahead.
more of this exploit definition. It says utilize. Right, it says make full use of and derive benefit from, right, a resource. You jump down, say use a situation or person in an unfair or selfish way. Right? It said the company was exploiting a legal loophole. Benefit unfairly from the work of someone, typically by overworking or underpaying them. We're here to help you, but then he exploits your country.
Yeah. He gets all the information about you, knows your weaknesses.
Take advantage of.
Yeah.
Another profit from, benefit from, capitalize on, squeeze, suck dry, enslave comes up again, manipulate, victimize, rip off.
He's always like, yeah, we'll build schools and hospitals.
Teaching our shit.
That's their makeup for all the rape, rob, and murder.
So if you sit invitee, if you invite him into your nation, he's gonna fuck your shit up either way. And if you deny him, he's gonna come in with violence too.
Yeah.
That's why you up tail we fuck.
That's why you're not supposed to come nigh wild beasts.
Man.
That's right, 12.
Beware of the beast, man.
Beware of the beast, man. For he is the devil's spawn.
For real.
Sirach 12:12, set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand in thy place.
He exploits you.
Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beast? He's a fucking wild beast, man.
It said there too.
So all these nations that are going through because they make deals with America, it's like shit. Well, you knew the history of America, bro.
I'm saying. Ukraine, like we ain't finna feel sorry for you now that you left high and dry like that. You should have known better. They didn't even put you at odds with your own family.
Your neighbors, man.
now y'all at war.
He infiltrated you.
When y'all was USSR, y'all was stronger.
Yeah.
Hey, and I found out in the history watching that Wyon, the Gravitas, they were saying in the history of Ukraine and Russia, Ukraine before 91 was the stronger of the two. And they were always 1 and 2, but now Russia's the one and they're the two.
Like, why would you side with your you make your neighbor your enemy, who's a giant, right? And side with the OPP that lives across town, bro. Why? Why would you do that?
They can't defend you.
It's not
they won't
smart.
defend you.
That's what they're seeing happening now.
They won.
They promised. America promised them all these things.
With that NATO deal, we can protect you. We got all this and that.
We're going to bring you into the NATO and
we get money.
Protection.
You're going to get money sent over to you because you're with us.
And that's that gift that destroys the heart. The government was getting the money and they weren't thinking about this could potentially happen or the consequences. And hey, here we are.
And that's why Putin made the decision for him. Now I'm gonna make the decision. You're gonna be with us. Hey, that's what don't Jake do that in the hood? Nah, nigga live in my hood. He gonna be from the hood.
Yeah.
I ain't letting you get with the ops.
We ain't leaving a black nigga.
Right. Get that. Where does it say? If you be in straits, you will find him there first.
It's in the same chapter.
It's like lower.
I think it was after that.
After
it was that or
never trust an enemy.
I
think it's towards the end.
Yeah. Sirach 12 and verse
at the end of the chapter somewhere around there. We're beginning of the next one. Something like that.
Verse 17 it says, if adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help thee.
What they said about the history of Ukraine particularly was they never got their sovereign independence. Russia just bailed them out 15 billion. within the last few years, like 2 years ago or something.
Mhm.
Instead of getting it from NATO, they got it from.
Russia.
So what you think? Russia gonna do? I just gave. No, I'm protecting my money. I'm gonna take that.
Yeah.
You got it.
It says, he will pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee.
And we know that's what the EU, NATO was about to do over in Ukraine. If they got a foothold over there. That's all this man don't do.
He use you as a pawn.
To get to Russia. To
And
get that pipeline.
also in 2014, when Russia took Crimea, Crimea is like top 3, one of the agricultural top 3 places in Europe. And there's this water, the passage that runs through Ukraine to Crimea, but they shut it off. So that whole land was running dry. And Russia was not getting its money. It's like, hey, you gotta open up this dam, bro.
So they took it, to get it
like,
back
hey,
on.
we're gonna take it by force too, whatever. You know?
You us anyway. And that's why I was saying in that same gravitas, you was saying that that they even left, because that was part of the deal, they left the weapons over there. So Ukraine's, all of the weapons that were even in Ukraine, they said, matter of fact, we just gonna get a power to Russia, but we're gonna leave it over there. He said, okay, we got it, but we're gonna have to come back and get that though.
Right.
And but we got y'all though. We're gonna protect y'all. So what you think he over there doing? You know?
Yep. That was it on that. I have a quick one for dealing with Ukraine. I did the lesson on it. That was like the last video that I put up. Sirach 6 and verse 7. It says, if thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him. For some man is a friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble. So he feeling, the president of Ukraine feeling real stupid right now. I never should have, thinking that you about to get admitted, you about to become a honorary member of the gang and shit.
Gotta happen.
I'm gonna finally get put on the set. Shit, I'm gonna be part of,
If they was gonna
you left your ass and get
jumped,
jumped the fuck, stump the fuck out,
And
packed out. Jay called it getting packed out.
If they was gonna put Ukraine in, they would have did it right after they left the USSR. So why wait? They waited all this time. You should have known they wasn't gonna put you in. Wait, what was it? 30 years since that happened? Come on, gotta be smarter. Like, ain't nothing changed.
But you've gone down.
Yeah.
Russia's gone up.
Russia gone up.
You've gone down, and you turned your back on your big brother right there.
And that should have raised flags for all them other countries that's neutral. Finland, Sweden.
Yeah.
We already gave them the warning. Like, look, don't get no thoughts.
Think about it.
You in range. You in my range first.
Right.
And I don't give a fuck right now.
That's it.
Straight up.
So yeah, man, this is the Most High, man. He's
this is entertaining.
This is the Most High's theater, man. He's doing it,
Can I read more of this?
Yeah. I think I left off at
El Salvador.
El Salvador.
El Salvador, 1981 to 1992. Nicaragua, 1980.
What happened over there? They went over
Contras.
Took all the resources of the cocaine and put them on the streets. Same thing they just did over in Pakistan, Afghanistan.
With the
opium.
opium. I thought you were about to talk about Al Qaeda.
No, I was talking about just taking the resources. But the same thing, we saw what happened when the Contra in Panama went down. What happened right after that? Coke and crack was on the streets, right?
Good movie to watch is American Made. Tom Cruise.
Yep.
That's a good explanation of it.
What happened in that Contra situation, right? And the poppy field, how also, it was right after they was over there. What hit the streets of America? Opioids. He shows you that who got them. You got it, bro.
Use these alphabet agencies.
Mm-hmm.
Cambodia, 1980, 1995. Lebanon, 1982, 84. Grenada, 1983, 84. Libya, 1986. Iran, 1987, 88. Libya 1989,
This
Philippines.
is Cold War time. This is the Cold War still going on. They was really raging hot wars in other places. You got it?
So this is why, like it says in Revelation 13, where basically the nations, when they look towards this beast, they say, who can make war with her?
Mm-hmm.
Who can make war with this beast?
Yeah.
Because they're known for, their strength.
Yeah.
Dropping bombs on motherfuckers, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It's a strong alliance.
Strong.
Yeah.
It's strong as
Real
fuck.
strong. And that's why these nations over the course of time, even if they had to dwindle their economy just to build up their military, they had good reason to.
That's what North Korea has done right now.
Yeah.
To survive.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Philippines 1989, Panama 1989-90, Haiti 1991, Iraq 1991, Kuwait 1991.
That was
Desert
Storm.
Storm.
See, some of us are old enough to remember that. Like,
Took my cartoons off for like three months, bro. Watching that shit.
With Colin Powell.
Yeah.
General.
Oliver North.
Yeah, Oliver.
Yep.
Somalia 1992-94, Iraq 92-96, Bosnia 1995,
Mm-hmm. It's getting later now. Yep.
Iraq 1998, Sudan 1998, Afghanistan 1998, Yugoslavia 1999.
Yep. NATO.
Yep.
wow, it's crazy because Esau tried Afghanistan prior to 9/11. Yeah,
Yeah, it was more than likely a fail because they was whooping ass, man.
yeah.
Right, because they had that Kalashnikov over there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The
Russia
terrain,
with
also the terrain is,
Yeah.
Guerrilla warfare.
man.
Can't go.
Guerrilla
Like
warfare,
that.
man.
Them over there. That's they shit in the sand and all that. You can't fuck with them like that.
Mountains.
Yeah. Trees and bushes everywhere and all kind of shit.
Yes.
You know?
They don't know. They don't know the area like a lot of them Afghans did.
Also like Vietnam.
That too.
Those Viet Cong,
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
that terrain fighting in the jungle like that.
Yeah,
bro.
that fucking huge.
They assholes over there.
You know, see platoon.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man.
Afghanistan.
They showed you that in their presidents. When they came back, they was fucked up.
Yeah.
They had to get on heroin
Yeah.
because they were so fucking depressed because they had to deal with the pain and
These motherfuckers come out the bushes at any point.
yeah.
Yeah.
They coming out holes in the ground.
Yeah, that's not including the traps that was set on.
For a lot of them, it's better that they didn't survive.
Yeah, they were.
To live, to come back and live with that torment, that with PTSD shit.
Yeah.
Afghanistan 2001.
Mhm.
Who had control of Afghanistan before 2001? Russia.
Yeah.
So it's always been that
That's
tension.
that was the Kalashnikov was over there. I think they had a deal in like '98 or something like that.
Yeah.
In the '90s.
They took down the towers. Went in Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia and shit. It's just crazy shit. Iraq 2002-03, Yemen
These numbers, go ahead.
2002 and 2020.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they still on this, man.
Still there.
Shit. Keep going. Yeah.
Haiti 2004.
Is that an Earth? No.
Really, Afghanistan 2001 to 2021. When did Biden pull them out? Did he pull all of them out?
He
Yes,
just
2021.
He
I
just
think so.
And you know they still
left a whole bunch of
Yeah,
shit.
still
over
there.
there.
Still
He left a whole bunch of shit over there. too.
Obama had did a pump fake when he was in.
Yeah.
We're gonna pull him out.
Nope.
Nope.
Send him somewhere else.
Yeah.
Haiti again 2004. Somalia 2006, 2007. Iran 2005 to present.
See?
Yeah.
And these are just, not saying that each and every one of those things were, he bombed them,
Right.
but it's just giving you examples of him meddling with these countries and trying to attempt to sabotage their government and change their regime.
Right.
So he's everywhere,
Yeah,
man.
which is an
Need to
accurate
keep
point.
a fat home.
Let me kind of tap into this how they actually was doing this stuff, setting up proxies and all of this, right? What do you think these James Bond movies are about? Getting the microfilm from Germany without Russia intercepting it to get that bomb, for one, right? You see all of that. The later movies were those Bourne Identity movies.
Mission Impossible too.
Mission Impossibles.
Yeah.
Those were the movies of sending a spy over there as one of them soldiers and start some shit. Like they said in it was the Bourne Identity. He said, we can send anybody to kill this African president. We send you because you don't exist. We can send anybody to get him, but we need to be from somebody else getting him, not us. It can't be traced back to us.
An unknown, so to speak.
Exactly. That's what they do.
Yep.
That what you said the term the name of that group, Al Qaeda, and all of those, all them other groups over there like that. Doing them types of works. Yep.
Honduras 2009, Libya 2011, Syria 2011, the president. Brazil 2016, Bolivia 2019.
And this is the reason why the Lord is going to use Russia to be a guard over some of these countries.
Yep.
Yep. And that's another reason why they're going to always the beast and the bears going to always butt heads.
They've been indirectly they've been at war with each other by supporting separatist groups and funding, groups to fight each other for
indirectly.
Indirectly.
Over there in Syria.
Yeah.
You over there in Syria acting like you fighting ISIS.
Yeah.
Come to find out, the former Iranian commander, he was the one that removed him.
Removed it. Yeah. They were giving him praise.
And it was getting aid from Russia.
Yeah. The one that they killed, Soleimani.
Yeah. Russia was helping them with clearing that out over there. But America was, we're over there because we're trying to stop ISIS.
America going over to go look. Russia's like, no, we're gonna go look too. We're gonna watch. We're gonna watch you watch, see what they got.
The news was praising him when he had did that back so many years. Soleimani, when he had did that, and now they, of course,
he brought peace. He was the closest thing that had happened to peace in the Middle East because he was getting Esau up out of there.
Yeah, I think when Russia was in Afghanistan, America was funding the Taliban.
Yeah,
they were.
Yeah. They were calling the freedom fighters.
Yeah.
The CIA trained them.
Yeah. The Korean War.
All controlled oppositions.
Those wars were fought, sponsored by America and Russia. The Korean War, the Vietnam War. They were both funding both sides, which ultimately the bankers were funding both sides.
Yep.
Let's still go.
Venezuela 2019, Guyana 2020, Iraq 2020, Somalia 2020, Afghanistan 2020.
How many times niggas have been in Afghanistan, man?
All that bloodshed, bro. Bloodshed, bro. The whole earth is covered in blood that Esau has spilled.
Yeah.
And the blood is being disclosed. So, hey, go back and finish Habakkuk.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
This is all part of that shame. It's all coming out.
Is back in Habakkuk 2 and
I think you read 9 already. You might maybe 10. Yeah, like
you read
10 verse, I think.
Yeah, 10. Is Habakkuk 10? Looks like it 2 and 11.
Yeah, come.
It says, "For the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establish a city by iniquity. Behold, it is not of the Lord Yahweh of hosts that the people shall labor in the very fire, and the people shall weary themselves for very vanity. For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and maketh him drunken also."
Because early on, it says that he transgressed by wine, therefore he's a proud man. He got in the world drunken under his, Western, democracy, their way of living. And basically, if you take on our democracy and our way of living, will grant you these opportunities to do business, make deals, do trade, do all these things.
They do that with a lot of countries in Africa where they say, don't persecute homosexuals, but we'll give you money.
Right.
And I heard that from some Jakes that they were in some of the countries like, nah, F you, we don't want your money.
Right.
But a lot of these EU countries, they with it.
Yep.
And that's just on talking about the moles. We ain't talking about all the other things that Esau promotes. I'm pretty sure they got something that they pushing where you go digital, like they were doing out here. All you companies that go digital, go cashless, and we'll give you X amount of dollars. They're doing that with these countries. For a prime example, Sweden.
I got some. I got one. This Nahum 3:19. That I want to give a point. It says, "There is no healing of thy bruise; thy wound is grievous. All that hear the bruit of thee shall clap their hands over thee. For upon whom hath not thy wickedness passed continually?"
Man, this is what the world is gonna fucking rejoice when your ass is out of there, man.
Real.
The whole world is gonna finally be at rest.
All you
It's like the last verse.
all you Edomites, slavery.
Hell yeah. Because you're the problem. You're the problem with the world, man. And the whole world is they're finally beginning to recognize that. So finish that.
Yeah, this verse 15. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth that bottle to him and maketh him drunken also.
You even got Jake drunk.
Yeah.
This is why they still continue to support you and follow you, because they're drunken.
Easiest manipulated people ever.
But that's what he knows how to do. If he got you in a compromised position, what's the word we looked up earlier? Oppressed. If he got you oppressed, he give you a little bit and then destroy the heart. And that's exactly what this man do. He throw you crumbs and you love him for giving you something.
Right. That's why they vote Democratic. Because they always acting like they're gonna offer you some or
they're for you.
Yeah. We got some initiatives towards you and we gonna work towards and this and that. They just sell you a dream and then they steal your damn vote. Even though your vote don't really matter, but they get your ass every time.
So Edomite called out Biden today on I think it was Fox News, said you're picking your cabinet, you're picking your members by color and transgender, and he went in on their ass, man. He's like, you're not picking people that got actual knowledge qualified. They just picking, he's trying to appease to you niggas, man, pretty much.
Whoever panders to you.
Yeah, transgenders.
Yeah.
And they just nominated some Jake for Supreme Court justice.
Oh yeah, black woman.
And that's just gonna reel you niggas in.
Fucking winch at that.
Yeah, straight winch.
What did he say? He said he was running. He said it. If y'all got a problem, if y'all got a problem deciding who to vote for, me or Trump, then you ain't black. And Jake took that like, damn, that's right, man. We can't be with Trump.
Yeah.
We can't. This motherfucker worse than Trump. It's the worst shit ever to our people. To so-called
only within a year.
Bro.
Yeah.
I'm talking about before that. And then this year, just put the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, never mind the 94 crime bill,
exactly.
Yeah.
And all that other shit.
Super predators with Hillary and them.
Yeah.
Right. So Jake is drunk too, man. And that's how Esau is able, while they're in that drunken state, intoxicated, he can go to the Father and send up prayers accusing us, day and night.
Yeah.
But the Most High sees you, man. He saw you the whole time.
Yeah.
So you ain't gonna escape, man. Go ahead.
All right. Is 16 says, "Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered."
And basically, it's time for you to get exposed. It's time for you to get exposed. It's time for your skirt to get lifted. Everything is coming out, man. And the prophets, we're at the helm of that. That's why you're going to be forced to come against us. That's why there's going to be that insurrection. That's why the enemy is going to come in like a flood. You know, and you trying to figure out ways on how to, you know, get to us. But eventually, we already know that day is coming, man. Because we're testifying against you. We have the testimony. The testimony prophesies against you of your wickedness. And according to that testimony, the blood that you spilled, you got to pay for that.
Right.
Your blood got to be spilled to make that right. Recompense,
Righteous thing.
vengeance is a righteous thing to the Most High to recompense tribulation against them that trouble you.
That's right.
All right, you got to pay for what you've done, man. Do unto them as they have done unto us.
Yep.
And you ain't feeling that, but guess what? You know, trying to come for the witnesses. Hey, we're on the Most High's witness protection.
Yep.
The angels encamp around about us, and the Lord's getting ready to turn us up. Because right now you're turning up. You got all these spirits, you know, you tapping CERN, the CERN portal.
Yeah.
You know, dabbling and dipping in the spiritual realm.
Yeah.
You doing all those things, so we already know that eventually the Most High gonna tap us.
That's right.
He gonna tap his elect, his men. Okay, that divine power is getting ready to show.
That's right, bro.
It's gonna counter what you devils is coming with.
I got a real quick one to back up what you're saying. Obadiah, the 10th verse says, "For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever." Saying, you know he coming. You know this is, if he can exterminate Jake, he really feels like he set himself up to have that birthright in the earth. And then if he can get rid of Jake, the plan is fulfilled. It was only them two. Now he wants to slay his brother Jacob. Now he's still trying to get that birthright back. Right before he set himself up for that birthright before he slaughtered Jacob. Yeah, bro. That was the point. Yeah.
It says back at 16, it says, "And let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. For the violence of Lebanon shall cover thee, and the spoil of beasts which made them afraid because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein."
Now go from there. Somebody get Isaiah 14.
Yeah, I'm on it.
And then start at 4.
Isaiah 14:4 says, "That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say," which we know the modern day king of Babylon is Esau.
Yep.
It says, "How has the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased."
It's basically a taunt. Because basically when this devil finally gets dealt with, the Lord's going to triumph over him. Because right now he's thinking that he's going, like it says in Psalm the 2nd chapter, where the nations they raging, imagining the vain thing. Yeah, they basically trying to come up from up under the cusp of the Lord's control and his sovereignty, his majesty. They think they're gonna do their thing independent of the Most High. All right, but the Heavenly Father got plans for your ass. Go ahead.
Verse 5 says, "The Lord has broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers."
Here's what I'm gonna do. When you read your verse, I'm gonna read it in the NLT.
You want to hit that one?
Yes. So read it again.
5.
Yep.
It said, "The Lord has broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers."
Isaiah 14:5 in the NLT. "For the Lord has crushed your wicked power and broken your evil rule."
Yeah, they're in a lose-lose right now. Because either way, a big chunk of E is going out in this situation.
Yeah.
We know who really, well, they both go out of power, really. But we know if their thing plays out, either Russia going to be gone, all their Edomites going to be gone, or all the West is going to be gone, particularly America. We know if there's going to be a big Edomite loss that's going to be taken.
The Lord's gonna strike them with a major blow. This is two birds with one stone.
Yep. Verse 6, right?
Yep.
It says, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. We just read the continual stroke from since World War II, right? It says, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hinder it.
It says, verse 6, it says, you struck the people with endless blows of rage and held the nations in your angry grip with unrelenting tyranny.
We said one of the words we looked up, tyrannical, was a synonym for it.
Oppression.
Tyrannize.
Oppression.
I got to pray real quick, though.
Oh, yeah. That was in the old verse, right?
Yeah. Okay. Psalm 72:4. He shall judge the people of the poor. He shall save the children of the needy and shall break in pieces the oppressor.
And who is that talking about? Yahushua. Yahushua is going to come back and he's going to destroy this oppressive beast system. All right, he's that rock. He's that stone cut without hands that's going to break in pieces the feet.
The feet of the image.
Yeah, Russia gonna be taken up. China gonna be taken up. All the kings of the earth is gonna be translated to Yahushua.
Subdue all the kings of the earth. Yeah.
And that's why he's causing all these situations to draw all your soldiers over there by keeping the conflict happening over there, so that he can annihilate you all at once when he judge you in a valley of decision, a valley of Jehoshaphat.
And that's dope, because when you think about it, what would if he went nation by nation, one by one over their land, by the time you got to like the 10th, the third, fourth land, say you started in Russia, right? By the time you got to like Palestine or Turkey or somewhere, then people gonna start hiding.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They gonna leave. They gonna try to get out of the judgment.
That's what a lot of the Ukrainian people are doing.
They did. They were trying to get out.
They're trying to get out.
Yeah, they knew it was coming. Back in Isaiah 14, right?
Yeah.
We can jump down to 10.
No. Can you just read down?
Okay.
Read down.
In verse 7, it says, the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing.
Yep. The earth is finally at rest.
Yep.
It says it right here too. But finally, the earth is at rest and quiet. Now it can sing again. Exactly. That's when once his power is broken and he's brought down, that's when the righteous are going to be in authority. It says when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. So even the earth, the animals, the trees.
Yep, it's about to say. Verse 8, yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee.
Yeah, hey, because they're going to be in peace from all the war. All that fucking war, man, all the violence that was done upon it. All the bombing and, wiping out trees and whole cities, lands, wiping out animals. The earth is going to finally be able to rest from all that shit, man. Got all the ecosystem just totally decimated.
Off balance
and shit.
Yep,
They got to the animals got to constantly migrate because Esau keeps showing up and tearing things down.
Cutting down trees, deforestation, contaminating the water. Like,
you got birds dropping in the sky.
What it said, the animals shall move their place. Yep. Where they supposed to be inhabited at is in the cities now. It's went from wilderness to cities now. And they still live in that area. Verse 8, it says, yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller has come up against us.
Yeah, deforestation, Esau is heavy into that.
Choking the world out, man, so you can't breathe.
Chop down millions of trees.
They call the rainforest the lung of the earth.
And then he set a fire.
Right.
Both of them was on fire. Remember that?
Verse 9, it says, you want to read?
No, you can just read down.
Okay.
Just read down.
Verse 9 says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee. even all the chief ones of the earth. It have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. That's showing you the Heavenly Father is moving everybody on this devil.
Stirring up their spirit, man.
Where do we read that? Yeah. Was that Ezekiel 38?
What? Hooks in the drawer?
Yeah, ain't that,
Yeah, that's in Ezekiel 38.
Where he said he stirred up the spirit of the Medes. And all of these other world leaders are giving, like everybody's showing up to make speeches now about what they're going to do or not do about what Russia's doing over there in Ukraine.
Everyone has a.
It's almost like
response.
It's almost like the Lord stirring up that old ancient spirit, like because we know the Medes got took down, but now the Lord is raising them up because in the ancient world, the Medes and the Persians, they took Babylon down. Now it's like the Lord is doing it again, like raising up the Medes, which are the Russians, and then you got Iran, modern day Media and Persia. And now they're being stirred up against Babylon again, but not the ancient Babylon, the great whore.
Because the irony of it is, in the ancient world, Persia was eventually stronger than the Medes, but now the Medes are stronger than Persia. Yeah, but they still together. Yeah.
It is.
Beautiful.
Go ahead.
Verse 10 it says, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us?
Yeah, you ain't got no more power.
Yeah, what happened, man?
Yeah,
you was the man, but now you over here with us.
You was the man.
Ancient world, you was the man. Homie.
You got the power to shut down the whole world.
Yeah.
Have everybody wearing face masks and shit.
Yeah.
Made the whole world literally stop. Under a fucking
false pretense.
A fucking hoax.
Or the common flu.
Yeah.
Now we know come every year. It came right in flu season, and then they sensationalized it. And now, like somebody said, but all of a sudden, where'd it go?
Right.
There's no more talks about it. No more death reports.
No more Varian. Other little
Delta Force and shit. Farce. It says, verse 11, thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. Yeah, you're done.
You're just infested, man. Everything is falling downhill for you. Decaying, man.
Yeah, America's infrastructure, it was given a D, right? Probably F now.
Yeah, that was the part of that pride, that pomp, right? That how high they can build these buildings, these skyscrapers in these cities. What America looked like when they showed the first films in like the 20s and 30s, those major ones. They showed New York with all the lights. New York had lights like Vegas, like neon lights and shit way back then.
The Great Gatsby era.
Yeah. They had all that. The 20s. They had all that.
Soaring 20s.
Rolling
20s.
Roaring.
There's a place out here called The View.
Okay.
There's a place out here called The View over on Lake Mead.
Yep.
And you could oversee Las Vegas,
Yeah,
and you could see why they would call that Golden City, or because it's all these lights,
Yeah. You look down when you look at the plane.
Yeah, but now you got a whole lot of homeless people just living in the cities, man. Out on the street. That's the part of that worm, man. That decay.
See, she looked fine, but you looked up her skirt.
Far away, she
just
looked good.
up in there.
She looked good from far away, but once you get her close, like nah.
Construction cones everywhere showing you the decay of these cities.
As far as improvement in road rates, I think it's like a D- or something, bro. As far as the grade,
they build it. They say it's the state landmark. Is the orange cone, Nevada. It's just always got orange cone somewhere. Right?
I think that's a deeper meaning behind that shit.
Yeah, it's just to pull money in, double fines. Anyway, it says verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? right? And we got to kind of go into that because people hear the word Lucifer and don't know what it
They
means.
try to think it means Satan. That's
Yeah.
not talking about Satan.
Nope.
It
That's
just
talking
means
about-
light bearer.
Yeah, and they hold the light. That's
They
why they
hold the
call
light.
themselves the Illuminati.
Yeah.
Left hand.
Yep.
The left hand.
Left hand light, right. Son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground? When didst weaken the nations, which didst weaken the nations, right? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
Yep, you think he the most high.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he's trying to establish himself, man. That God complex.
Here you go. Verse 14. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. In the space and shit, right? I will be like the Most High.
2 Thessalonians
2, 3.
2. Yep.
Third verse, yep. And the third verse.
Mhm.
It says, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? All in bombs.
The whole list.
Yeah.
Was this not this the hammer of the earth?
Mm-hmm. Hey, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed cities thereof, that opened
I
not
just
the
went through a
house
list of some of them.
of the prisoners. Yeah.
Mhm.
This nigga never let nobody out, bro.
Oh man.
Once he gets you, he
Prison.
don't ever let you go.
Yeah. Keep everybody in the prisons, man.
Forever, man. He won't, and he trying to put everybody on the Alex Jones called it prison planet. That's
Yeah.
what the fuck this dude want. He want the whole world a prisoner to him.
He creates the system for it. It's
Yeah.
all systematic, man.
Yep.
And he
They
makes
don't
by
have
law.
the space to actually lock him up.
Mission by law. Yeah, that's right.
Yep, he framed Mr. by law. That's right. And he has he doesn't have the space to lock you away where he still needs you to function in the world to keep your shit going.
Yeah.
But he creates a way of life where you're working it, you will own nothing and you will love it. Because he got it all, right?
It's
Verse.
kind of like you think about like how we use streaming now.
Mhm.
We don't own DVDs.
Mhm.
We don't own CDs, but
Yep.
people use it. People continue to use it. That's the same thing. You know how they're going to this system is going to be equated to like streaming.
Yep.
I'm just
It's an upgrade with that.
Yeah, so, but it's going to be on a different level, obviously.
Mhm. Verse 17. That made the world a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the houses of the prisoners. All the kings of the nations, even all them lie in glory, every one in his own house. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch.
Mm.
And as the raiment of, and what is it talking about? When you go back to 11, everybody else is going to get to go back to their land and be their own people. But this man going to get cut off. He will be cast out of the earth. There will be no remaining of the house of Esau, as it says in Obadiah, right?
Mhm.
It says, but thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with the sword, that go down to the stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden under feet.
Hmm.
Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned.
You never receive honor ever again.
Yep.
It tells you that with Isaiah 32, that the troll will no longer be said. The troll is liberal.
Yep.
Mhm.
You deserve no honor, man. You're a very dishonorable figure.
Vessel made of
A vessel of wrath fit to destruction.
Yeah.
You're a vessel of dishonor.
Yeah.
So you'll never have that respect ever again. All right. And that was you want to read the
21?
21.
Yeah.
You can end off with that one.
It says, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquities of their fathers. that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
Yeah, don't ever give them a chance to ever try to build nothing, man. Because you see what they've constructed on the earth. Fucking tower, literally like the Tower of Babel all over again. And it led to nothing but rebellion, disorder, chaos. So it's only good that the Lord finally get rid of this devil. He already fulfilled his purpose.
See,
all right.
Let's say this real quick.
Yep.
We'll read this 26th verse since you said that. This is the purpose that is purposed upon the whole earth. And this is the hand that is stretched out upon all the nations. Hey, the Most High set this man up to come and wreak havoc in the earth. And then eventually, when he was done punishing his people and setting the people right, as he wanted them to be with that red horse, he gonna get rid of that red horse. Once his purpose is up, which we just read how it's gonna be an end to it, to this man. Once his purpose is up, he's out of there. And we're at that point of it.
That's it, right?
Yeah. So, man, we want to, just go into that. We just float in the spirit. The spirit had us basically get on this devil.
Yep.
All right.
We rejoice because this is his moment.
This is it.
This is it. You gotta go to war with yourself right now.
Mm-hmm.
And we just gotta sit back and talk about what's gonna happen. I wish we could put money on this. Jake, I'm jokingly saying that, but we know the outcome of how this is gonna go.
Mm-hmm. And you fake prophets and you Christians, y'all need to sit this one out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You don't know what the hell is going on. Mm-hmm. Leave that to the true servants, the prophets.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And we're gonna continue to measure the time diligently. All right. And all these different things that are happening are just signs or indicators, that the Lord is getting ready to return.
Right.
So we got to stay on our watch, stay circumspect, keep praying without ceasing, and stay brotherly and do the things that we got to do and hope for his mercy. All right. So, with that, we're going to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh,
Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Hakodash.
give honor to the elder apostles of the great millstone who will, peace and blessings to the tabernacle of David, the hopeful elect. Shalom.
Shalom.